tobacco, cotton, tea, flowers. I know flowers is also a very sensitive issue. There's high rates of gender-based violence, there's high rates of female pregnancy, there's high rates of child labor. Get opportunity, go to the camps in the sugarcane, and you see how many 14-year-olds. You go to Budondo, house to house, and ask them how many girls are going to school, how many boys are going to school. Sugarcane is one of the issues.
What is happening in sugarcane plantation?
So this is it. Areas that are highly commercialized, for example, where cash crops are, there is high demand for labor, casual labor. And because of high demand of casual labor, there are high rates of child labor. And because of also the high rates of child labor, there are issues of quick income. That's why I say there's high rates of teenage pregnancy, rape, defilement, and sex work among the fishing communities because of quick income. You are paid on a daily basis. You are paid per day you work. So it means the more income I get, the more. Now that is number one. Number two, the cash crop of sugarcane has taken over the farming lands. We no longer have food crops. We no longer have food. So it means access to common issues like food becomes a problem. What is the next issue if I have a girl? Marry her off. That is what is happening in busoga right now. That's why I see busoga high rates of child marriages.
What about the refugee settlements?
We shall come to the refugee settlement. It's another political conversation. So you find that because of that, that's why I see right now busoga is no longer a food basket. Why are we having famine in busoga? Why are we having drought in busoga? Because the sugarcanes have taken over the farmlands. When you plant a sugarcane here, how many years do you need for that land again to be able to cultivate a food crop? Why are we having nutritional issues? Mothers are being asked, go and eat greens, go and eat balanced dieties. They are pregnant, but they can't access the balanced diet. Budondo that used to give us a lot of vegetables now has sugar canes. It used to give us a lot of jackfruit. Most of actually the vegetables that used to come to Nakasero, when you go to Ambakot between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., you'd find trailers packed. Right now you'll find 2 or 3 fusos. Have we asked ourselves such questions? But you're telling people, the nutrition issues. Women are not getting nutritious foods because there's no food. That's why I said it's a sensitive conversation. None of us wants to have. You speak about it and the backlash you get will be huge. So as you tell the people what I've told you, you should put context to what I have said. But the thing is, that is a conversation. First, leave alone these other conversations. People are saying, hey, there's a cultural issue. That is a cultural issue. It's hard to deal with it. Other people say, yeah, because busoga is predominantly Muslim, so they are marrying off the girls when they are young. Okay. But you remember I talked about the emerging narratives? There's that emerging narrative. When you go to those camps, the sugarcane camps, there's a lot of issues happening there. Interestingly, groups like Culture will provide education. They have a very good education department. They have a primary school, they have a secondary school inside the camps. They have a hospital. Actually, Kakera Hospital is one of the most reputed hospitals in the region. You look for blood in the entire busoga region, and the only hospital that has blood is Kachira. But these services are limited. One primary school is not going to cater for all. And you providing a primary school does not mean you have changed behaviors of people. There was that place, what is that? Wonderful, that does the warrant, the control.
And Polota.
What the incidences of rape and defilement that have increased there was high. But the entry point to sorting out that place was accidents. But if you look, the accidents were not happening at that stretch. The accidents were happening at William. But they said, you know that entire stretch of Kachira has what? Accidents. But they try to sort out and say, if you stay the other side of the road, don't cross to the other side of the road to drink. But they were trying to control the alcohol consumption in those areas. Places that have tea, all those cash crops, worldwide, they have a lot of issues around high rates of drug abuse, high rates of alcoholism. All those are risky behaviors that lead to high rates of unwanted pregnancy. So we need to, that's why I told you, you need to look at the entry point. If you look at the issue as teenage pregnancy and busoga as that, you will not get answers. But you need to look at the context. Let me give you another thing. UGANDA, as a district, is one of the biggest business hubs we have in this country. I know of retailers who go to UGANDA to buy soap, cooking oil, salt, and come and sell it in Kampala. If you didn't know, UGANDA is one of the biggest business hubs. What does it mean? It means there's a lot of disposable income. When you have a lot of disposable income and you engage in risky health behaviors, there's a high chance of you making someone pregnant. The advantage we have with busoga right now is the HIV rates are still very low. But that is also a time bomb. With the immigrations that are happening from one center to another, you don't know what will happen. But also what has happened is the catchment areas for sex work are known. So it means it will be controlled. The people who access it and the people who do the sex work, it is controlled.